No Harry Potter movie is
And
good.
you're like, give me the Snyder Cut. Oh, sorry, just walk in front of you here. Gonna put my popcorn down. Oh, sorry, gotta put this here.
Universal needs to sue Sony.
Hey, I'm an idiot. I was fired from Fox. Let me go.
I'd like actually to see Venom just crush Spider-Man.
In what's probably the least surprising news of the day, DC's done something insanely stupid again. I know, right? When like at this point, we gotta eventually just be done with stupid DC doing stupid things just because. But at last they do it because they're stupid, and now and everyone's been getting mad about this, and rightfully so, because again, DC's doing stupid things. But we're talking about why it's stupid instead of just talking about the fact that it is stupid and also disrespectful to all the people involved. And it was the thing that I'm talking about is they canceled the Batgirl movie starring Leslie Grace. And so yes, we are going to talk about why this is stupid, but also not only in terms of just like, for the sake of the people and all that, but also in the sake of the business and why I think this Warner Discovery merger is probably meaning DC is going to go through another period of just sucking. And so yeah, let's start. They canceled this Batgirl movie, and the specific wording of why, according to the article from The Wrap that broke the story, was that they want tentpole movies that can make them money, and they don't believe Batgirl can do that. By the way, we're going to explain why this is a very misguided situation. So some background of Batgirl. The movie, which DC stupidly canceled. I'm trying to avoid cursing. I've done that a lot. I've had to re-record this 3 times. But anyways, DC has initially, under the old AT&T regime, decided to start a Batgirl movie for HBO Max. Now COVID happened. Very bad situation. Lots of things got delayed. The budget, I think it was a $20 million increase. And now it's around a $90 million budget. Now they're almost done the movie. It's nearly done post-production according to the reports. And the studio was very happy with it. And they thought it would do well. And they decided, you know what? We like a movie. It's almost done. But it's slightly over budget. So we're going to throw it out. And so now the budget the cost of this movie right now is $90 million. So we're going to play a little bit of a game here, okay? Now just stay with me. If they're currently spending about $90 million, let's say it take about $10 million to finish shooting the movie without marketing. That means you're at about $100 million. Now let's say marketing is about $30 million. So that means you're at about $130 million. Now if you were to release that movie in theaters, how would that work out? Well, in order for them to break even, which means they don't, just without even including merchandise or any of that stuff, which also will guarantee them money, all they have to do is they have to make about $260 million from the box office. Because, they split between studios and theaters is about 50-50. Now there's other things which come into that, whatever. So $260 million. That seems like a lot, maybe. Or maybe it doesn't seem like a lot, but I can tell you it isn't. Do you know why? Because the Elvis movie, made $236 million. I believe that's still in theaters making money. So, the Bad Guys, that animated movie with those animals that are like criminals or ex-criminals or whatever, the Animal Suicide Squad, that movie made $246 million in theaters. And remember, 260 is the goal. So you have to make a little bit more than a stupid animated movie with a bunch of animals, an Animal Suicide Squad, whatever. And Minions, that movie, which also still is making money in theaters, by the way, has made $713 million. If you make Uncharted made $402 million. So you're telling me the goal is 260, and Uncharted made 402, and you're telling me that there's no possibility, it's not even a very high possibility that Batgirl can beat that. And again, if you can make 400, which again, Batgirl can make $400 million if it's as good as the studio says it is, and that assuming that all those numbers are correct, which come from credible sources, so we're going to assume are correct. You can make that money. So why would you cancel it? Because the only time you should cancel a movie, this is the only time you should cancel a movie, and just throw it out completely and not put it anywhere, is if you've gotten to the point where the price of finishing it is significantly more than any possible return, right? If the cost of finishing it is, let's say, $40 million. That's not worth throwing out. Again, unless you're so far over budget. But if you're not, then the cost of finishing it is not worth it. Because what you're doing, essentially, is instead of investing the money, which you can basically guarantee you'll make back, by the way. Because again, even if it makes, let's say, $240 million, you're telling me between back-end sales, subscription numbers, and all those other little things which can happen post the theatrical run, you're telling me you can't make whatever $20 million that you need to go from $240 million to $260 to break even, and merchandise and all that stuff. You're telling me that you can't do that? Because you definitely can. And so what you're saying is, you're saying because you don't believe Batgirl, one of the most popular characters, by the way, in DC Comics, is not good enough to make you a tentpole movie. Which, by the way, you can make $500 million, I believe, very easily with this movie. And now it's hard to calculate what the exact, if you just dumped it on HBO Max, what the exact streaming numbers would be. And it is a pretty expensive movie to put on HBO Max. But again, you can make a return with theaters. It's not like there's a ton of massive blockbusters coming out over the next few months. Like, you can still definitely make that money. Like, again, it's stupid. But anyways, Warner Bros. Discovery decided their own beliefs of tentpole movies, and even more so, I believe, that their idea that they want a connected universe, right? And they want to go back to the last time they had a connected universe, which was when they had Ben Affleck Batman, because obviously AT&T's era of Warner Bros. Decided to start the connected universe with Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, Snyderverse, end it with Justice League, or the Zack Snyder Justice League, then just make a bunch of movies that are like kind of connected but not really, that were just good movies and were whatever the directors wanted to do. And now it seems like Warner Bros. Wants to go the other way, where they essentially just want to focus on making a connecting universe, which means you're going to scrap Batgirl. Now, does this mean that you're going to probably have to scrap movies like, is there a possibility, because we know Ben Affleck is coming back as Batman, is that a permanent thing? Because if that is there a chance that Robert Pattinson then gets scrapped? Robert Pattinson's Batman gets scrapped. Is it a possibility that Joaquin Phoenix's Joker gets scrapped? Right? Like, these are all possibilities. Again, I don't know how likely it is. Maybe it's possible they continue with Batman 2, and then they just don't have a third one, or they continue the same with Joker. But it's also a possibility they just say, you know what, we're going to scrap. They just threw $90 million down the toilet for no good reason. And so, who knows? I would probably give a very high possibility that Blue Beetle's gone now. That all these other movies they announced, Zatanna is gone now, and all these other movies. I think Wonder Woman's probably a safe bet if it ever happens. I think Aquaman 2, 3, 4, whatever you want to have happens. Flash is still probably a safe bet, which is stupid because that movie has so many problems that it probably doesn't make sense to release it because of the things that Ezra Miller's done, which are reprehensible. But alas, Warner Bros. Discovery decided we want a connected universe. Now, because we know Ben Affleck's returning, and it looks like they're trying to reduce Michael Keaton's role, I think a Henry Cavill Superman movie is probably closer than we think it is. And Shazam's probably safe just because it's still relatively connected, and Black Adam's, again, probably safe because it's relatively connected. But it really does suck that they don't believe that they don't have an interest in making good movies anymore. And I think they're gonna truly regret that. Now, on the other hand, the other part of this is obviously lawsuits, because lawsuits are 100% coming for this. Because obviously when they break the contracts with the actors, and we saw this during the pandemic when things were shut down and people were moving movies, and when it started with Warner Bros. Moving movies onto HBO Max. Obviously this was under the old regime, but still, we saw this where they negotiate the contract. We saw this come to light where when you negotiate a contract and you promise things on the back end, based on box office revenue and other performance metrics. If you don't release a movie, or if you release it on a different platform, if you have box office things and you release it on a streaming service, or if you have, any level of a standard for what a movie has to do, you are losing money. Like, these people are going to lose money for a movie that they didn't make, and so I can tell you lawsuits are coming, and Warner Bros. Discovery will probably end up losing even more money because they're going to have to pay out these actors, which again they deserve because they were almost done a movie which was scrapped completely. I think it's just ridiculous that they're doing this. They literally are throwing money down the toilet. Like that's literally what they're doing. It's so annoying and stupid. But alas, what can we do? It's DC, and they're gonna do something stupid today, and then they'll do something stupid tomorrow, and we'll have to keep talking about why they keep doing stupid things constantly. And so again, because they love doing these stupid things for no good reason, I don't know how shocked I would be if they just came out in the next week and said, "Hey, yeah, Robert Pattinson and Joaquin Phoenix they're no longer part of DC." Like, I find it very hard to believe they would. But then again, when the initial article came out, everybody on the internet said, "There's no way this is just fake. There's no way they would do this when they're almost done this movie." Nope, they did. Like, I don't think I would be shocked if they just said, "Yeah, we're going to scrap Robert Pattinson's Batman because it's not part of our connected universe." Eventually they'll learn. But today's not that day, so let me know what you think of this, I guess. I don't even know. Anyways, I'm going to go now. I've recorded this 5 times. Bye-bye.